everyone. Thank you so much for having me in your 9th grade English class. My name is Miss Jessica, and today I will be reading you an excerpt from The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sharmay Alexi and art by Ellen Fournier. I hope you guys enjoy. I was sitting in my freshman classroom at Weld Pines High School when Mr. P strolled by with a box full of geometry textbooks. And let me tell you, Mr. P is a weird-looking dude. But no matter how weird he looks, the absolute weirdest thing about Mr. P is sometimes he forgets to come to school. Let me repeat that. Mr. P sometimes forgets to come to school. Yeah, we have to send a kid down to the teacher's housing compound behind the school to wake Mr. P, who's always conking out in front of his TV. That's right. Mr. P sometimes teaches class in his pajamas. He is a weirdo coat, but most of the kids dig him because he doesn't ask too much of us. I mean, how can you expect your students to be working hard if you're showing up in pajamas and slippers? And I know it's weird, but the tribe actually houses all the teachers in one-bedroom cottages and musty old trailer homes behind the school. You can't teach at our school if you don't live on the compound. It's like some kind of prison work farm for liberal white vegetarian do-gooders and conservative white missionaries. Some of our teachers make us eat birdseed so that we feel closer to Earth. And other teachers hate birds because they're supposedly minions of the devil. It's like being taught by Jinkle Hank. But Mr. P isn't a Democratic, Republican, Christian, or devil worshiper freak. He's just sleepy. But some folks are absolutely convinced that he's like this Sicilian accountant who testified against the mafia and had to be hidden by the secret witness relocation program. It makes some goofy sort of sense, I suppose. If the government wanted to hide somebody, there's no better place to isolate than my reservation, which is approximately located 1 million miles north of Important and 2 billion miles west of Happy. But geez, I think people are paying too much attention to The Sopranos. Mostly, I think Mr. P is a lonely old man who used to be a lonelier young man. And for some reason I don't understand, lonely white people love hanging around lonelier Indians. Alright kids, let's get cracking, Mr. P said as he passed out the geometry books. And how about we do something strange and start on page 1? I grabbed my book and opened it. I wanted to smell like heck, I wanted to kiss it. Yes, kiss it. That's right, I'm a book kisser. Maybe it's kind of perverted, or maybe it's just romantic and highly intelligent. But my lips and I stopped shortly when we saw this written on the inside front cover. This book belongs to Agnes Adams. Okay, now you're probably asking yourself, who's Agnes Adams? Well, let me tell you. Agnes Adams is my mother. My mother! And Adams is her maiden name. So that means that my mother was born in Adams and she was still in Adams when she wrote her name in this book. And she was 30 when she gave birth to me. Yeah, so that means I'm staring at a geometry textbook that's at least 30 years older than I was. I couldn't believe it. How horrible is that? My school and my tribe are so poor that we have to study from the same damn books our parents studied from. It's absolutely the saddest thing in the world. And let me tell you, that old desiccated geometry book hit my heart with the force of nuclear bomb. My hopes, my dreams floated up into mushroom clouds. What do you do when the world has declared nuclear war on you? Smash! Of course, I was suspended from school after I smacked Mr. P in the face, even though it was a complete accident. Okay, so it wasn't an accident. After all, I wanted to hit something when I threw that ancient book. I didn't want to hit somebody, and I certainly didn't plan on breaking the nose of a monotheist math teacher. That's the first time you've ever hit anything you aimed at, my big sister said. We're so disappointed, my mother said. We're so disappointed in you, my father said. My grandmother just sat on her rocking chair and cried and cried. I was ashamed. I'd never really been in trouble before. Thank you.